a practice in the workbook this time on page 195, which you don't necessarily need to have open. If you do, just make sure you notice that I actually changed the letters here because just to make it work better with the PowerPoint. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say a sentence in French, numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wait, that's probably too much. Numbered. And then you're going to say in the chat which letter it corresponds to, which picture it corresponds to. They're all in the past tense, and there will be some key words to help you kind of figure it out, but try to do as best as you can to understand as much as possible. Aw, yeah, I'll miss you guys, but let's not talk about it yet. All right, so numéro un. Let me pull up my words really quick. My computer's having a slow time today. Here we go. Okay, numéro un. Samedi dernier, Hélène a fait des achats. Samedi dernier, Hélène a fait des achats. Samedi dernier, Hélène a fait des achats. So which picture does that sentence match? You can write the letter in the chat now. Very good. It's number one. I mean, letter F. Yes. Okay, let me just do this really quick. Don't look. Okay. Samedi dernier, Hélène a fait des achats. Très bien. Numéro 2. Samedi dernier, Julien et Julia ont joué au tennis. Samedi dernier, Julien et Julia ont joué au tennis. That's like a tongue twister. It is the letter C. Good. Samedi dernier, Julien et Julia ont joué au tennis. Try saying that 10 times fast. All right, numéro 3. Samedi dernier, j'ai vu un film au cinéma. Samedi dernier, j'ai vu un film au cinéma. Good. Numéro 3. Samedi dernier, letter E. It's hard because I'm typing the number 3 and I kept wanting to say what I was typing. Samedi dernier, j'ai vu un film au cinéma. Très bien. Numéro 4. Samedi dernier, Nicole et Nicolas ont fait une promenade à pied. Samedi dernier, Nicole et Nicolas ont fait une promenade à pied. Very good. Letter A. Samedi dernier, Nicole et Nicolas ont fait une promenade à pied. Numéro 5. Samedi dernier, elle a voyagé à Paris. Elle a vu le Tour Eiffel. Samedi dernier, elle a voyagé à Paris. Elle a vu le Tour Eiffel. Very good. It is D. Samedi dernier, elle a voyagé à Paris. Elle a vu le Tour Eiffel. Numéro 6. Samedi dernier, Sarah a acheté des CD. Samedi dernier, Sarah a acheté des CD. Très bien. G. Samedi dernier, Sarah a acheté des CD. Numéro 7. Samedi dernier, ils ont écouté de la musique. Samedi dernier, ils ont écouté de la musique. I mean, I guess there's only one left anyways, but it is B. Very good. Samedi dernier, ils ont écouté de la musique. Okay, before we move on, can you just tell me, just me taking temperature of the room, give me a percentage of how well you understood what I was saying in French? Obviously, you guys answered correctly, and there were some keywords that were helpful, right? Like you heard jouer tennis, or you heard the word cinéma, and you could see cinema, or something like that, or Tour Eiffel, and then you're talking about the Eiffel Tower. But tell me, what percentage of the French did you understand, like of everything that I said? About 85%, 75, 50, 70, 78.643. 80%. Okay, cool. Just curious. If you guys continue to study French, like on your own, more French 1 or just throughout the summer, I highly encourage you spending as much time as you can doing, like with the online textbook, doing those oral exercises or auditory ones where you hear the French. And that's where actually the French media comes in really, really well. So you won't understand very much of what's going on at the beginning, but the more you hear it and think about it, and it's the most exhausting way of learning, but it's also kind of the most beneficial. So I encourage you guys to continue with that. I'll answer that question at the end of the class, but basically, will we still have access to our textbook after class? Yes, you should have. We're going to have a conversation on this at the end of class, but you should be able to access it 1 year from when you bought it. So most of you bought it in the late summer or the early fall. So I think you'll have it up until then. That's what it should be. Oh, cool. Good to know, Emily. Miraculous Ladybug, that's cute. All right, so we're moving on. We just did the essentials, the basics of le passé composé. Okay, remember there's 2 parts, avoir and the past participle. How do we do the past participle? Well, it's different for ER, IR, RE, and then irregular verbs. Any questions on that before we move on? Now we're getting into the kind of more details. Okay, so how we do the forme négative, the putting passé composé in the past tense, is really simple. This page has a lot of words on it, but it's basically the negative sandwich goes around the first verb avoir. This is really simple. The negative sandwich just goes around the avoir, and that's it. The past participle just hangs out at the end. I did not work. Negative sandwich goes around avoir. Past participle hangs out at the end. You did not work. Negative sandwich goes around the avoir. And then the past participle just hangs out afterwards. Okay, let's do an exercise. So, Julia, numéro 1. Elizabeth, numéro 2. Emily, numéro 3. MJ, numéro 4. Emma McCarthy, numéro 5. Emma Eckert, numéro 6. Vas-y. Oh, you have your instructions. You have your subject here, and then you have the verb and the whole, like the rest of the sentence, what you're doing. Just simply make a sentence using the information provided, but make sure each sentence is in the negative. So your subject here is you, and then you go on a picnic. So make sure you're just saying you do not go on a picnic. You do not fix your chaîne your stereo. I do not go on a drive. You are not sick. You do not carry your books. You do not have a fight. And so forth. Oops. Oh, close. Okay, so for number 4, you're very close. You forgot, though, that there's 2 parts to the passé composé, and you're missing one of them. Okay, just a little helpful reminder. Actually, I should probably pick a smaller sticker, huh? This one's kind of fat. Okay. Okay, numéro. Okay, so good question number one. Faire is one of those that's actually irregular. Can anyone in the chat remember what the past participle is for faire? It does not follow the normal, like remove the er. Yeah, it's one of the irregular ones that you just simply memorize the weird way. Very good. Tu n'as pas. Tu n'as pas. Good. Fait un pique-nique. Perfect. Tu n'as pas réparé. Perfect. Except you forgot that it's an apostrophe. I know, so many things to think about. But besides that, your grammar is excellent. Je n'ai pas fait. So you have your negative sandwich. You actually picked the wrong, that's the wrong conjugation of avoir. It does not match your subject je. But then fait une promenade aventure is perfect. Numéro 4. Nous n'avons close. So actually, what this whole lesson thing here is, number 4, and anyone, is that the order in which we do this is ne, then avoir, then pas, then the past participle. Maybe if I did a little plus sign in between that. That's like the order of operations here. Very good. Good fix. Nous n'avons pas été. Très bien. And good fix number 3, that is the correct conjugation of avoir to match the subject. Vous n'avez pas apporté vos livres. Perfect. Vous n'a... Oops, wrong conjugation of avoir. It's good that you did avoir, and it's good that you conjugated it. It was just the wrong conjugation. Very good. Vous n'avez pas eu une dispute. Perfect. Well done, guys. Any questions? Looks like there were a few little hiccups, but it seems like you guys got them pretty clearly. Good question, Emma. Would U and une become E apostrophe U and E? And the answer is no. And I can't even give you a reason why. Most of the time, if there's a U like that, then there would be. But I think you can. Yeah, I think I would get too much into the semantics to explain why. But I'm sorry, the answer is no. But I like how you're thinking. So high five for your thinking like that. Okay, I'm glad you got the conjugation now. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, so that's it for passé composé in the negative. Any questions about how to put it in the negative? Don't forget, this is basically your formula. Generally, in French, you guys, the negative sandwich goes around one verb or one word. Even if like these function together as one unit, the ne pas almost always goes around just the first verb. Almost always. Okay? All right. Let's move on to questions. This is one of those, another thing that looks really complicated, but is actually rather simple. Maybe not easy, but it's simple. So don't let your brains trick you into thinking it's really complicated. Okay, so to put the passé composé in question form, you have two options. You have the long form and you have the short form. The long form is essentially the same as a normal sentence. Avoir, and then the participle, and then question words go at the beginning. The short form, remember we learned how to do this in earlier, like first semester. We invert the subject and the verb. But I'm here to tell you that when it comes to the passé composé, we invert just the avoir. The participle just hangs out at the end. And then any question words remain at the beginning. Let's look at example. So these are the exact same sentences here. This one is the same as this one. This second is the same as this one. Third is the same as this one. But this is the long form and this is the short form. So the long form, est-ce que tu as voyagé? I have my question words first, and then my avoir and voyager. It functions the same as a sentence, as the normal sentence. I just have question words in front of it. Est-ce que vous avez voyagé? Avec qui est-ce que nous avons voyagé? Okay. Now, if you recall how to do the short form, we remove the est que, and then we invert the subject and the verb. But when it comes to passé composé, it's not all the verb, it's just the avoir. Past participle likes to just hang out at the end. We cross out the est que and invert the subject and just avoir. Past participle can just hang out on its own. We cross out est que. Not all question words, like avec qui is important. The est que is the only words that we cross out. And then we invert the subject and just avoir, past participle can hang out. And what we're left with is as-tu voyagé? Okay, this one becomes this. Est-ce que vous avez voyagé becomes avez-vous voyagé? Avec qui est-ce que nous avons voyagé becomes avec qui avons-nous voyagé? Any questions on this? Let it sink in for a second. Sometimes I use a lot of words to try to make sure I explain everything, but sometimes more words can be more confusing. Let's do an exercise. We're on page 327 because we went back a little bit. Okay. Jérôme est curieux. Oh no, I'm doing conversation. Demandez à vos camarades ce qu'ils ont fait hier. Ask your friends what they did yesterday. Okay, so you know what? You can answer it if you want, but I mostly just care about the question. So my example is à quelle heure and then dîner. À quelle heure and then dîner. Okay, so Sarah, can you do numéro 1, Dara numéro 2, Emma numéro 3, MJ numéro 4, Julia numéro 5. Okay, so write your questions. And actually, I'm going to ask you to write the question twice. Write it in the long form and then write it in the short form. So here I'll draw a line, like long form on this side, short form on the other side. Okay, so here, I'll do it for myself here. Okay. À quelle heure dîner? So I'm going to, oops, I don't need to do a new text box. So the long form is à quelle heure est-ce que tu as dîné? Long form. Short form is à quelle heure as-tu dîné? Okay. Actually, I'll remove these lines. That's not helpful. Avec qui? Okay. Avec qui est-ce que tu as dîné? Perfect. So that's the long form. Now do the short form as well. À qui est-ce que tu as? Except téléphoner needs to be the past participle. You have it in the infinitive. They give it to you in the infinitive here because they want you to do all the work. Avec qui as-tu dîné? Perfect, number 1. Well done. À qui as-tu téléphoner. Good. You did the past participle for the second part. Good job. Number 2, don't forget to make your verb here past participle. It's in the, there you go. Good. Don't forget the accent. Good. Don't forget the accent though. Numéro, here, I'll put it for you. Accent. Accent. Okay. Numéro 3. Quel programme est-ce que tu as regardé? Quel programme as-tu regardé? Perfect. Quel programme est-ce que... Oops, you forgot your subject. So for number 4 here, you forgot to say you. You forgot your subject you. And then they give you the verb here in the infinitive, but you need to make it into the past tense. Number 5. Est-ce que tu as rencontré... Qui est-ce que tu as rencontré après les classes? Good. Qui as-tu rencontré? You guys got it. Well done. Tu as écouté. I'm very happy with how well you're getting this. Quel programme as-tu écouté? Parfait. Parfait. Oh yeah, I forgot the Q up here. I was writing too quickly. Okay. Ladder. S-K with a Q-U-E. Sorry, you guys. Some of you... Okay, I wasn't even paying that close. I was paying attention to your verbs. Don't forget, I messed up. I know you're probably looking at my example up here. I was going too quick. S-K has 3 parts. Don't forget all 3. So technically, you are missing a part here. You have it, you have it, you have it. Okay, that was my bad. Oh, here you go. You have it there. Oops. Okay, good job. That was my bad. Oh, well done, you guys. Well done. You totally got that one down. Woo, let's move on. Okay, so any questions about how to do passé composé in the question form? I feel pretty confident in how well you guys got that. Good job. Okay, so now we're moving on to passé composé, the irregular way of doing it. The regular way is avoir in the present tense. I'm going to redo it here. Can I make you? No, you're not going to let me change your color. No? Okay. Forget that. Okay. Excuse me. So, passé composé the regular way. I don't know if you can see that. Hey, where's my little... Hold on. Technical troubles. Here we go. Where are you? Hello? Are there no... Well, that's weird. Okay, hopefully you can read it. The regular way of doing the passé composé, as you know, is avoir, which we conjugate in the present tense. Yes. Okay. And then also thank you. Whoever did that, past participle. Like the box that gives me the option was not showing up. I don't know where it went. Okay, and then the past participle for the regular remains the same, right? We learned that. Awesome, thank you for doing that. So this is the regular way of doing it. Okay, the irregular way is that some verbs use être instead of avoir. Être here instead of avoir. And it's conjugated in the present tense too, so that's easy. But the past participle actually changes gender and number. Let's look at some examples. So the past participle for the passé composé using être agrees with the number and gender of the person doing the action or the subject. So the verb aller here, to go, aller, is one of the weird ones that uses être for the passé composé. So let's say I want to say I went, and let's say Emily wants to say it, okay? Emily's talking, okay? So she would say, je suis, because that's the être conjugated in the present tense, and then aller, which we kind of do the normal way. We remove the ER and add the E, but this time I'm going to add an extra E because she's a girl. Let's say, who's a boy in this class? Jonathan is saying I went. He would say je suis allé, the regular way with nothing added. This is, we've seen this kind of thing before, where if it's feminine, we add an E, and if it's plural, we add an S. Okay, let's say we have a group of girls that say, we went. Let's say Faith and Jana said that. They would say, nous sommes. So this time I'm using être instead of avoir. And then aller, the base. Then we add an E because they're both girls, and we add an S because there's more than one of them. How about we went, let's see, Nation and Ethan, 2 boys. They would say, c'est not je. Nous sommes allés, the base, kind of past participle, and then we add just an S because there's more than one of them. And then if it's a mixed group of girls and boys, like Clayton and Rebecca, oops, then it would look the same as the male version, right? Nous sommes allés. It's just an S. Does that make sense, you guys? So it's the same kind of thing. You have to, very similar to the regular way, except this time you're thinking about être, which we conjugate as je suis, tu es, il, elle, on est, nous sommes, vous êtes, il, elle, sont. I should have had you do a chart to fill that out to remind you, but and then basically you just have to remember if it's female you add an E, if it's plural you add an S. Okay, let's do an exercise. Oh, before we do an exercise, these are the common verbs that use être in the passé composé. Aller, arriver, rentrer, rester, venir. As you see, they are these, to make these verbs the past participles, we actually do it the kind of regular way where you remove the ER and then add an E with an accent. Remove the ER, E with an accent. Remove the ER for those, and then remove the IR. Actually, this one's a U. But it's basically kind of the same idea. And then you just have to remember to add the E and the S possibly. Now let's do an exercise. MJ numéro 1, Emma numéro 2, Emily numéro 3, Elizabeth numéro 4, Emma McCarthy numéro 5, and Sarah numéro 6. Go ahead and say, translate the following sentences. Using le passé composé with être. Remember, everyone should be doing these exercises on your own. Okay, so first we use être instead of avoir. Okay, conjugated in the present tense. Okay, and then we use the past participle, same as before, except that we I was wrong letters. Sorry. Add E, or how about we just say adjust for gender and number. Okay. So masculine singular is nothing. Masculine plural, you add just an S. Feminine singular, you add an E. And feminine plural, you add an ES. Thankfully, this is kind of, we've done these kind of exercises before. This is not like a brand new thing, yeah? we've seen this kind of thing before where we've added e's and s's depending on the gender and number. It's not like brand new. So you, plural you, which is talking about boys and girls, arrived at noon. Vous êtes arrivés à midi. Good. Sometimes the whiteboard looks different between computers, so I think it's correct here. It's a little hard to read. I'm going to move it down just for my sake. Yes. So you have, very good. You have the être conjugated in the present tense, and then you have arrivé has just an S on it. Just an S. Well done. Number 3. Tu es arrivé à midi. Not quite. So here, first of all, I'm saying you in the formal sense. So you in the formal sense would be vous. I did kind of these right next to each other on purpose. So this is a you plural, and then this is a you singular but formal. So your subject should not be tu, it should be vous, because it's the formal version of you. Vous êtes arrivé. The tourists, boys and girls, stayed at the Hotel Ibis. Ils sont restés à l'Hôtel Ibis. Perfect. We have just an S because it's a mixed group. We, boys and girls, number 1. We, boys and girls, went to the town. Is it? No, not quite. So we have the two parts of your verb are être. So ils, actually it should be we, first of all. So it's nous. And then être conjugated for nous is some. Good. And then the verb went, that's the verb aller, if you recall. So how do we do the aller into a past participle? E with an accent. Good. And then we add just an S because it's plural and it's mixed group. You got it. Okay, cool. I'm glad. That was kind of fun doing it together. Does that make sense now? No, don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. I hope that kind of makes more sense now. Okay, so number 1, number 2 are correct. Number 3. Are you there, number 3? Let's work on this together. Your subject. Sarah, are you number 6? Yeah. Sarah, you can do, the subject is qui. And it functions the same as if it was il, elle, or on in terms of how you conjugate the verb. Okay, if that helps. Okay, so for number 3, your subject is you, but the formal version. So anyone in the chat, what's you in the formal version? Vous. Very good. So your subject should be vous. Okay, good. And then your verb is arrived, past tense. So first part is être conjugated in the present. You have that, être. Very good. Arriver. Good. With an accent. Oh, I see. Okay, yes. Good. Yes. The only thing is, okay, so vous êtes, correct? Okay. You are using the formal version, which means there's only one person. Your subject is referring to just one person. So actually, there's no need for an S here because it's just one person. It's a boy. He's male. So we would, our base, like arriver, when it becomes a past participle, becomes arrivé. Okay. Now that's like the base, right? Now we decide whether we need to add anything to it to adjust for gender and number. And we add no E because he's a boy, and we add no S because there's just one of him. Does that make sense? So I put these together here kind of on purpose, not to trick you, but to kind of point out. Vous, here, when you look at this sentence, you know we're talking about a group of people because the arrivé here on the has an S on the end. Here we know we're talking about one person in the formal sense because there's no S. Does that make sense? Cool. Okay. Okay. Number 4. We, all girls, returned to the house at 11. Nous sommes rentrés à la maison at heure. Okay, so close. Okay, so first we have some, which has an S on the end. Nous sommes. Good. Conjugated. Être conjugated in the present tense. Good. Rentré. You are right. It is. Let me write it over here. So you have rentré is the infinitive form. You changed it to the past participle with an E on the end. Accent. Okay. Now we need to decide whether we need to add E's and S's. So first, do we need to add an E? Is it all girls? Yes. Good. So we add an E. Now, is there more than one of them? Yes. So we add an S as well. Good. Sometimes step by step is the best. Does that make more sense now that we kind of did it slowly together? Okay, we're running out of time. Who came yesterday? Qui est venu? Very good. And we do not know whether it's masculine, feminine, singular, plural, because we don't know who we're talking about. So we just leave it in the blank, in the like base form, essentially. Really good job, and good job figuring that out. I think it was Sarah. Yeah, Sarah. Good job. Okay, any questions on this, you guys? I know it's not the easiest. Almost out of time. Okay. So we're going to skip this last exercise. So that's it for the review. Now, just a few more things to kind of close up the class. Tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, so kind of like this normal class time, I'm going to have an open class, or like an office, blah, 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 a class, open class / office time, or like an office hour. If you can show up a little late, if you need to, I'll be there for at least an hour, depending on who shows up and what needs to be worked on. Just this is kind of your opportunity to come talk to me and get more exercises if you need. I'll have the textbook and workbook. I'll have things prepared in case you want to practice things, or if you have any questions. This is kind of to make up for the lack of live classes that you had the past 2 weeks. So we just kind of reviewed everything that you would need to know for the test, essentially, except for those little things like the vocab and the verb voir, which you'll have to study on your own, or we can talk about it this Friday. But basically, I'm available for you tomorrow for at least an hour. You can meet here in the class and bring any questions or notes, your textbook, your workbook, anything you want to talk about to make sure that you finish up French feeling confident. That's what I care about. Okay? So you can make it if you can. If you can't, don't worry, it's not mandatory. Your test is I'm going to post it right after that class. I'm going to post it in the discussions and via email. And I'm actually going to give you the answers right away because it's the end of the year. We don't have like class next week. So basically, tomorrow's like an extra review time with me if you want it, and then I'll post the test and the answers. Any questions about that? All right. Well, one more thing, okay, before having to say goodbye. And I know I'm a little late. Just give me one more minute, and I'll be done. I do not have a set schedule for tomorrow, but I can create one if you need it, like on the spot. So just a few things about closing up the class. As of June 1st, okay, so almost a month from now, I will close my French email, but you can still use my personal one that I gave you at the beginning of the semester. I'm going to close Blackboard Collaborate. It'll be gone. But I will save the PowerPoints in the Google Docs, and I'll send you an email with the link to all those, and then I'm also going to save all the things on the YouTube channel. Your online textbook you should still have access to it a year from when you bought it. That's my understanding. Um, so that's it for that kind of stuff. If you have any I'll send you an email with this kind of information too, so you don't need to worry too much about memorizing it now. And unless there are any other questions, goodbye, you guys. It's been a wonderful year with you, and I'm very proud of you. You've all worked so hard and so well at French, and especially through a very tumultuous semester. You guys are such troopers, and I'm really proud of you. I'll miss you a lot, and I'll send you. I know, hey, goodbyes. I'll send you pictures of my baby when he's born, and I appreciate you guys so much. Um, Thank you for sticking it out. I love you all, and I hope you have a great, wonderful summer. And yeah, okay, so I'm going to turn off the recording.